Hi everyone, welcome to This is Cinema. Last year Marvel launched a timeline book for all the events that took place in Marvel Cinematic Universe till Phase 4. This video is a guide for this timeline book, and watch till the end, so that you couldn't miss out anything. And now let's dive right into the video. The book starts with an amazing full-look picture of Thanos in Endgame, with the Infinity Gauntlet in his hands. And then a foreword by Kevin Feige, and an introduction from Miss Minutes. There she says, 616 is a sacred timeline, and it's one among the countless timelines that weave together the multiverse, which have slight or major differences. After introduction, here are some icons for every major heroes and events, and it helps to follow the particular hero while reading throughout the book. Here this line at the center of every page, is the sacred timeline, and every events are depicted from it. All starts from the distant past, but the specific years are not mentioned, and this distant past part explains about the origin of 616 universe, like the formation of Celestials, Eternals, Infinity Stones, then Earth, and the Yggdrasil tree. And also the origin of Wakanda, the mystic arts, the Egyptian gods which we have seen in Moon Knight, and also about Mjolnir, Darkhold, and much more. Then entering the Common Era, where they explain about Hellas Rampage, growth of Ancient One, the Battle of Tunsberg in Norway, between Asgard and Jotunheim, where Odin adapted Loki as his child. Then the conflict between Nova and Kree, the evolution of Mandarin with the 10 Rings, birth of Namor, and also about Agatha. After this, we are moving on to 1940s, 50s and 60s. Here they explain clearly about World War II, the rise of Captain America, and also the Marvel's one-shot about Agent Carter's Zodiac mission, the birth of Winter Soldier, and Isaiah Bradley, and Kamala Khan saving her grandmother during the partition. Then in 1970s to 80s, the time when Hydra started to grow inside S.H.I.E.L.D. as a poison, and also explained about the Howard Stark's hidden element, then Kingo living for ages as a Bollywood actor, how Ego met Meredith Quill, Janet getting stuck in the quantum realm, and also about Mar-Vell, who worked on finding a safe place for Skrulls. And also about the experiment which gave Ghost's phasing power, and how Carol Danvers got her powers from Tesseract. Then in 1990s, they explained the murder of Stark family, the tragedy in Killmonger's life, then the Skrull-Kree conflict, how Captain Marvel fought the Kree to save Skrulls, then when meeting Leontel Low, and also the death of Mark Spector's little brother during their childhood. And also Thanos destroying half of the population of Gamera's planet, and the tragedy in Wanda's life. Next we move on to 2000s, when the Hulk was created, Shang-Chi's mother sacrificed herself to save them, and how Hawkeye met Black Widow in Budapest. And in 2008 the events of Iron Man movie, next in 2010 Iron Man 2, and also the Incredible Hulk and Thor. And in 2011, Captain America was found from ice, who disappeared 70 years before. Then in 2012, the events of Avengers movie, the New York battle, Iron Man's first sacrifice, and how Adrian Toomes lost his job because of Tony Stark. Then in 2013, the events of Thor: The Dark World, and Iron Man 3, and in early 2014, Tony had a heart surgery to remove the shrapnel from his heart. Then in 2014 proper, how Trevor Slattery was taken from prison to Wenwu, it's a one-shot All Hail King. And the events of Captain America Winter Soldier, and Wanda and Pietro getting powers from Mind Stone, and the events of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and Volume 2. In 2015, the events of Avengers Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man. In 2016, the events of Captain America Civil War, then Black Widow, Black Panther, and Spider-Man Homecoming. Then in later 2016 and early 2017, the events of Doctor Strange movie, and in mid-2017, the events of Thor Ragnarok, and in 2018, the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp, and also Avengers Infinity War. During the 5 years of Blip period, they have given about the rise of Power Broker in Madripoor, how Mark Spector became Moon Knight, the death of Maria Rambeau, and also Hawkeye's rampage as Ronin. Then in 2023, the events of Avengers Endgame, and they have clearly shown the timeline branches, and how time travel works in MCU. Next how Loki escaped using Tesseract, and how TVA arrested him, and they have shown how events of Loki takes place outside of time, and how it takes place along with the events of Endgame. And finally in 2023, the events of WandaVision. Then in 2024, the events of Shang-Chi, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Spider-Man Far From Home, and also the Eternals. Then during late 2024, the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and finally Hawkeye. Then in 2025, the events of She-Hulk, Moon Knight, and Wakanda Forever. And in late 2025, Ms. Marvel, Thor Love and Thunder, Werewolf by Night, and Guardians of Galaxy Holiday Special. With that, the entire events of MCU was completely covered till Phase 4. And finally the What If events were mentioned as the branches from Sacred Timeline. Apart from these, there are separate timeline pages for Eternals, Captain America, Nick Fury, the Earth Invasions, Iron Man, Asgard, Hulk, the Battle of New York, Thor and Loki, and all the Iron Man suits from Mark 1 to Mark 85. And also the timelines of Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D., the attack on Xander by Ronan, timeline of Gamora and Nebula, the Battle of Sokovia, the battle at Leipzig-Halle Airport, and the timeline of Natasha, Wakanda's royal family, Mjolnir, Pym Particles, and the Battle of Wakanda, and the entire timeline of all 6 Infinity Stones, Wanda Maximoff, Captain S.H.I.E.L.D., Sam and Bucky, all the Spider-Man suits, and the timeline of events involving Vibranium, and a complete flow chart for the entire MCU timeline. And yeah, this is a complete guide for the MCU Timeline book, and comment down below for the ebook. And if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button below. Let's meet in another video. Until then, signing off.
This is cinema.